If you have seen pepper leaves curl like this and wondered, is my crop dying? Well, don't panic because this is not a disease. But if you ignore this sign, your entire harvest could suffer. Stay with me because by the end of this video, I will show you everything you need to know to manage this issue. I have seen this the hard way on my own farm. Last season, nearly half my chili plants started twisting and curling up. I thought it was a deadly virus at first, but it turned out to be something else. Leaf curling happens when pepper plants twist, roll or crumple instead of staying flat and broad. It is not a disease, but a symptom of stress. Think of it like a sign that everything is not right with your plant. The leaves might curl upward, downward or even crumple, and this can impede growth, reduce fruit production and make your peppers look sad. But the good news is that most causes are curable if you act fast. Now let's break down the main reasons and what you can do to fix it easily. And remember, the biggest secret to stopping this is coming later in this video. First, water. Pepper plants are picky about water. Too much or too little can make leaves curl. Underwatering causes leaves to curl upward as the plant tries to save water by reducing surface area. Overwatering, on the other hand, suffocates the roots, leading to downward curling or wilting. I used to think more water was always better until I realized it was a big mistake. First, it's a waste of resources. And second, your plants don't need it anyways. Don't make that mistake. If you believe watering is the cause in your situation, you can stick your finger into the soil. If it is dry about an inch deep, water deeply until the soil is moist but not soggy. However, if it is wet and sticky, hold off watering for a few days. Peppers need consistent moisture, especially during flowering and fruiting. Ideally, if you have a half an acre of pepper garden, you would need to supply about 2,000 liters of water every time you water your plants. But this also heavily depends on your climate. In hot, dry areas like northern Ghana, you might need to water every 2 to 3 days. It is also helpful to water in the morning. This gives the plant time to absorb moisture before the sun gets too hot. You might want to avoid evening watering. It can lead to fungal issues. But water stress is only one cause. The next one could silently starve your plants without you knowing. Like humans, peppers need a balanced diet. A common cause of leaf curling is nutrient imbalance, especially too much or too little nitrogen, calcium or potassium. If you give too much nitrogen, the leaves curl downwards and darken. With too little calcium, new leaves emerging from top of the plant twist and crumple, as you can see in this footage. In fact, research estimates that calcium and potassium deficiencies reliably cause leaf curling in young leaves, with 30 to 80% reduction in leaf size, number, and mass. Don't guess, just test the soil and balance it out. Use compost or manure to supply critical nutrients. If you suspect calcium deficiency, dissolve a tablespoon of agricultural lime in 1 gallon of water and pour it around the plant's base, but not too much. Simple fix, but the next reason isn't so simple. It has legs and wings. Aphids, spider mites, white flies, tiny enemies you rarely notice until the damage is done. As you can see in this footage, this curling is definitely caused by pests that are feeding on the plants. I remember my first big pest attack. It wiped out half of my nursery in days. In my case, it was crickets, huge enemies of seedlings. These pests suck sap from leaves, causing them to curl and deform. Aphids are tiny green or black bugs clustering on new and emerging leaves. Spider mites leave fine webs and speckled leaves. White flies are the white insects that flutter up when you shake the plant. In order to be able to fix this, inspect your plant closely to see if you find any of these insects. Look under the leaves and along the stems. For aphids, spray a mix of water and a tablespoon of liquid soap. Do this early in the morning to avoid burning leaves. Neem oil is another great option. Mix a tablespoon in 1 liter of water and spray weekly. If the infestation is heavy, consider a natural pesticide like pyrethrin, but use it sparingly. Always follow the label. Keep your garden clean, remove dead leaves and weeds where pests hide. But pests aren't the only danger. Sometimes the weather itself turns against you. Peppers need a little warmth, but extreme heat can stress the plants out. In Africa, high temperatures and intense sun are common. Leaves curl upward to shield themselves from extreme heat. I witnessed this myself last planting season. During the afternoon times, around 12 to 3 p.m., I realized that the leaves would curl upward. But how I knew it was the sun causing it is that there was a part of the field that was shaded by some trees in the afternoon, and the peppers at that particular spot were not curling, so I was able to easily identify the culprit. This footage is also very clear that this curl is caused by heat stress. Also, cold nights, especially in higher altitudes, can cause downward curling. The only thing you can do to fix this is to provide shade during the hottest part of the day. You can use shade cloth to cover up some of the heat without blocking sunlight. You can also use dry grasses to cover the bases of the plants to reduce sun heating of the root during the hotter days. But here is the scary part. Sometimes it's not fixable. When viruses attack, the fight gets harder. Mosaic virus, yellowing, curling, stunting, no cure. Over 68 viruses are known to infect pepper plants, including potivirus, cucumovirus, and alphamovirus. But in Eastern Africa, at least 12 major viruses affect pepper, causing 10 to 100% yield losses. It spreads silently via aphids, dirty tools, and infected seedlings. Viruses like the pepper mosaic virus can cause leaf curling along with yellowing leaves. These are spread by pests like aphids or through infected tools. Once a plant has a virus, there is no cure and it can spread fast. There are a few steps you can take to manage it. Control pests to stop viruses from spreading. Clean your tools with a bleach solution. You can do that by mixing 1 part of bleach to 9 parts water and use it to sanitize tools between uses. If you spot a plant with curled, mottled leaves and stunted growth, pull it out and burn it. Don't compost it. Choose virus-resistant pepper varieties if you can find them. In Ghana, local varieties like Scotch bonnet are often more resistant than hybrids. Rotate crops every season to break virus cycle. Don't plant peppers where tomatoes, eggplants, or other peppers grew last year. Virus threats are real, but guess what is worse? Chemical damage you didn't even cause. One mistake I see often: herbicide drift from neighboring farms. Glyphosate can twist and kill your plants beyond saving. If you are using herbicides to weed your farm, then you are at a greater risk of leaf curling. Or if there is a nearby farm that uses herbicides, drift can happen and harm your peppers. What you can do is to stop spraying nearby, water and wait. Mild damage may heal with time. In severe cases, remove the plants to protect future crops. Always apply herbicides on calm days and use targeted methods like painting them onto weeds. But honestly, leaf curling is not the most concerning issue in peppers. There is one more deadly mistake I learned the hard way. It ruins entire harvest overnight. But I'll cover that in my next video. So subscribe to the channel now because you don't want to miss that one.